Hi, everybody, you're back. And this is, I believe, session 4 because we just finished our competitive analysis. Now we're moving in. I'm going to kind of finish up competitive analysis, and then we're going to move into the next phase of that because it's kind of a two-parter. Okay, so let me share my screen, and this is where we ended up, and this is where you should have finished. And again, probably you're just going through and gathering data right now, and then it's going to take some time for you to get that. So you might be continuing to pull your broker metrics data while everybody is working on this. So let's move over here to competition. So these offices here, whoever you listed here, whether it be 5 or 8 or whatever the number is, 10, those are the same offices you're going to be listed here because this is your competition, okay? So this is where you're going to put down their broker name, how many offices they have, because you might have a Caldwell Banker office that's out under the same brokerage, so they could have three or four locations. The number of agents, and I'll show you where you get that. Their closed units, their volume, how many active listings they have, which I think it's just easier to go to MLS and pull that, and then their MLS rank, and then any miscellaneous information that you know, and any notes. So again, this is where you're really getting some good information on the competition in addition to what you did over here. You're wanting to also pull and see how do they compete with you. This is just your agent dollar, your company dollar. You're trying to find that sweet spot. Like, are you competing with a bunch of 100% companies? Are you competing with people that everybody's 90-10? Are you competing with what, I don't know, what are you competing with? That's what you have to find out. So that's why you're going to be doing your analysis on not just your top 5, but anybody that you're competing with, and putting all that information so we know what their economic model is so we can put that in play. Then over here, you're going to list those same offices, and then we're going to see how much data that you can, this is data that you can just pull from your broker metrics that you've already pulled. So again, you can list them separately, or you can list them, like if it's Caldwell Banker and they've got 3 offices, you can list that and combine that. The number of agents, where you get that from is a couple places. Over here, this is where you can pull all of that data. Here's where, so if you were looking at Caldwell Banker just as an individual company, you can see here, this is their total units. So it asked for their total units. There's your information. It asked for their volume. There's the information. It asked for their market share. There's your information. Average price. Now, you might remember, and Rebecca and Joy and Stephanie and everybody would know this better than me. You may remember that I believe that on that first page, I said their average price was $318. And that may be true because this is the entire MLS, but in those 2 zip codes, they may have a higher price point. So again, these are just things that you have to note and see if some of this information is correct, okay? Because remember, I was just pulling that data to see what was sold in those territory, in those 2 zip codes, not the entire MLS. So this is different information. This is the entire MLS. So the price point could be lower. And you see here it has the producing agents. So this is 208. Now I happen to know they have more agents than that, but let's say they have 270. That would mean they have 70 non-producing agents. I think as long as you're consistent with the data, there's another way to get that information. You have to go back to your proficiency metrics and just count all the agents, which would be your total agents and your non-producing agents, and you can use that, or you could just use this, understanding that that is how you're counting that data. So again, let me go back and show you. This is where you're filling this out. Okay, so all that information I just showed you, and then these are the notes and the different things that you want to reference. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about market share, because on this next page here, we're going to go into the next page of this filling out this form, but it kind of relates to this page over here, market share. Okay, it says market center current market share and closed volume for closed units, and then how many agents are you ranking? Okay, so there's a couple of different things that you can look at. Let's go back to the market share, this report again. Okay, now this says 12%, 12.8%. If I go down back to the very back, this is these, if you remember, this subtotal here is because I pulled all of the offices that were in 32308 and 32309 to see who the top people were of those 2 zip codes. But the data I pulled was the entire MLS. So if you look at the Tallahassee Market Center of the entire MLS, which could be huge, they have 12%, which is still 12.8, which is still great. However, if you look at their territory area and you take 7, excuse me, I've got to go back up to their numbers. If you look at their numbers, they had 1,906, let's call it 1,907 transactions, okay? If you take 1907 divided by the 14, that's going to give you the 12.8. But I'm going to take the 1907 and I'm going to divide it by their territory in area, 7702, and that equals 24.7. So they actually have 25% of their allotted territory area, which is really, really important when you take a look at that. So what we're seeing is that in your territory area, what percentage of market share do you really have? And it's 25%. So, but you've got to be consistent. So if you want to do that for your own market center, then you've got to be consistent in filling out the information for the other competition as well. So that's just another way that you can do it. But I think this is important, regardless of how you're filling out your paperwork on this. I think that's important to be able to spotlight when you're doing your own promotional pieces and different things, that what your market share is of maybe your area. So that's a little information on that. Let me go back here to your form. So you would do the volume and you would do the unit. So I just showed you how to do that, okay? Because it says market center, current market share, closed volume. You can use either the what they're giving you, which is here. You would have to. This wasn't pulled. Whoops, went back too far. I want to go back here, up here to this one here. Market share all MLS, and again, this gives you your market share for here. So again, you're just taking the 1906 and dividing it by this number to get the volume. You do the same thing. You just take the volume number and you divide it by the total volume to be able to get your percentage. They probably are pretty close to being the same. Okay. Then over here, now, how many agents in the market center rank in 10, 25, 50, and 100? Okay. We're going to go back to our proficiency metrics report. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go back here to the original one we did, our proficiency metrics, which was our tally overview. Okay. And we're going to count. Well, it's probably easier if I do this one here. Contact information, because this was the original report we did. So now it's going to say how many agents are, how many of your agents, well, let me go back. I'm sorry. Because that was highlighted green, it's probably going to be easier to go ahead and use that. Otherwise, you're going to have to highlight all of those. So let me go back. Oh, that one didn't come out green anyway. So let's go back here. See, these are things that you learn along the way. So what you're going to have to do here to find out how many agents you have in the top 10, 25, 50, and 100 is you're going to need to take here and you're going to need to sort this. So you're going to sort this by data, and you're going to sort by the name of the company. Okay, so you're going to sort it by office name. And you see here, my data has header, so I'm not pulling that into it. Okay, now I'm going to come down here to Keller Williams. Do this. And again, I'm just going to minimize a lot of, hide this so my fields aren't so long. Okay, so all of these here, I'm going to make all of this. This is all Keller Williams. I'm going to make these red. Okay, so darn. Hate it when that happens. Okay, so, whoop. So, well, let's just do it this way. I usually highlight it. You have to highlight it in the red, and then you have to see where they end up. But actually, I think we can probably do it this way. So you've got 2 here because this is 9 and 11. I think the first one said, go back and look at this. Top 10, 25, 50, and 100. So I believe this is going to tell us the top 10. We've got 1 in the top 10. We've got 1 in the top, well, I guess you got 2 in the top 25. You need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the top 50. And then we do here, and you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 in the top 100. So that's how you do that. The other thing I was going to do, but it just takes long, is I was going to highlight all these in red and then go back and look. But actually, this number here tells you what their ranking is. So that's just as easy to do it that way. Okay. So that would be very easy to do, except you have to find your people first to do that. All right. So we've got that filled in. Now this is just your information, your commission splits, your market center cap, your team cap, your expansion cap, any fees that you charge, so forth and so on. Okay. And then this is where we're going to get together based on any of the information. Is there anything that we want to change? That's where we'll have some more conversation. So basically, we have now completed this opportunity analysis, except for one thing. I've added something to this, which is called agent movement. Now, agent movement is all the agents that have left your market center and moved someplace else to another company. So I'm going to show you where you find that report, and you're going back to your that's your folder there. Let's see. We're going to have to go back to our items to complete. Let's see here. Oh, let's just go do it this way. And I'm going to go back to Rivers just so you know where to get to it. And we're going to go back to the Tallahassee Market Center. And you, on another call, I will, or another video, I'll show you how you can pull this data. I'm trying to see. Oops. Don't move. Not sure what I did. There we go. Okay, we're going to open up the RDOP financial guide. See here where it says loss versus agents gained. This here is all the agents that were lost. That's not the one I wanted. Agents lost. So you're going to open that up. And it opens up into an Excel spreadsheet, and it actually gives you all of the names of the agents and what companies they went to. For some reason, this is not opening up correctly. I guess it's just taking some time. Well, let me close this up. And I will just do another video. So watch for the next one, which I think is going to be number 5. And I will do that one. And then I will show you how you actually pull that report. So I'm going to stop sharing this one. And then I will do the next video where I will show you that information and how you actually can pull that report. So I'll see you soon.